ladies and women, expat women. What if everything you carried in your soul was really possible to create in this world? What if your deep callings were true, authentic, and doable? What if you could really create them in this world? Hi, my name is Eva Saunders, and I am an inspirational singer and songwriter, and I'm also an empowerment coach, helping expat women to thrive professionally after they move abroad. Okay, yes, when we move abroad, it's like an earthquake or a storm, and that's a part of a journey because we are shaken in our like grounding. We lose connections with people we loved. We can still keep in touch through internet, but that's not the same. um, Sometimes we go to a country, we don't speak the language, we don't know like the code, we don't know, we have to learn so many things. It's so overwhelming and exhausting. And as our balance, our grounding is pretty shaken, then that's why we can feel like overwhelmed and stressed very fast. But at the same time, I do believe these moments of like earthquake are good for one thing, that we like step out of our ordinary personality, and through all these ups and downs and moments that are difficult, we can really access very fast to our essence, to who we truly are, and to our true callings. So that's why um, these moments, even though they are difficult, are for me true opportunities of growth into being who we were meant to be. Like to get in touch with our soul's purpose and life mission, and really to start to create a life that is aligned with who we truly are. And the thing is, when we move and we are in this uncomfortable place, in this storm, in this earthquake, sometimes we can believe it will last forever. And of course, it will not. It's temporary, but it's not pleasant. And as I said, sometimes you have this glimpse of, oh, I would really love this, or oh, I would really love that. Oh, since I was a kid, I wanted to do this. There are these moments of like true wake up calls, and they are really true. They are true. So that's the moment of grasping them. And maybe you think, well, it's too big, it's huge. This is I cannot create this. It's out of my reach. But let me tell you a story. This is the story of Anne Lorient. She lives in Paris, France. She's French, so you could think she's not an expat. Well, she is another kind of expat because she was an expat in her family, where she was not really recognized for what was going there. There was quite a heavy abuse that was ignored. So she was like an expat already in her family, and then at a very young age, when she came to Paris to escape abuse in her family, um, unluckily she was rejected by someone, by a relative, and she found herself on a street, living as a homeless for more than a decade. So we can speak about an expat. For me, it's like a very, I would say, very extreme case of expat. At least she lived what we can live as expats, because these feelings of powerlessness, alienation, uh, hopelessness, being without help, there. She could live this as well on another level, but it was there too. And I remember when I met her probably 4 or 5 years ago, it was shy woman. I felt that I needed to tame her, to gain her confidence. And in some way, she was wild. And at the same time, she was so capable to adapt and to listen and to observe. And I felt her potential. And at that time, she was still struggling, like um, professionally, having some contracts, very short-term contracts, giving conferences, speaking of on about her experience of not expat, of homeless, and at the same time, she was tired of telling again and again her story of violence and abuse she lived on the street. It was like, I don't want to live this situation anymore. I don't want to dive again in my past story, relating my past story, which is painful, in order to earn my living, because she gave conferences and some workshops. And so we did the work together, and I brought her really in touch inside, to feel her essence, and to we allowed her essence to speak, to tell what she really wanted, what was her soul's purpose and her calling. And I remember she told, well, I'd like to paint more, because painting is so fulfilling and so easy for me. I would like to paint more. And I would like to live by a seaside, because I feel so happy and nourished when I am close to the sea. And so we had this moment of brainstorming and imagining her opening kind of center and directing a center for abused women and homeless women at the seashore. And she saw herself like directing this center and also having time for painting at the seashore, being close to the sea. And honestly, even for me at that time, I will be very honest, it felt like impossible. She was struggling, meeting her needs every single month, not knowing exactly where she would earn money, how she will deal with two teenage boys that she was raising alone at the time. So even for me, but I never tell this, because what I know, who am I to judge what people are capable? But let us say, even me as a coach, in my head I was telling, well, I have no idea how she could create this. And sometimes it's a question of timing. I spoke to Anne yesterday, and she said me excited. I signed up for business classes, for business school. She's in her 50s. Just, if you feel too old to start something, never limit yourself. If you feel a calling, do it. If she could do it, you can do it. So she signed up for these classes, and she told me, because I feel I am supposed to be at the seashore and to direct this center, and I am getting my education, so I'm ready to transform my association into a business, and to create really this center, in order to be able to welcome abused women, welcome women who lived on the street, in order to help them, to support them, to create conditions so they can thrive. And I want to create women's circles there too. And she was so determined, so clear about it, that I have no doubt today that she's on her path of creating this. Look, as an expat, yes, I know it can be hot, it can be stormy, it can be earthquake. You can face rejections, you can face hardship, you feel like you're losing your confidence, you feel like it's hard and it will never stop. Stop. You can stop. Maybe it will not stop outside what's going there, but you can stop. Get back to you. Get directly into your essence and ask yourself, who am I and what am I called to do here in the world? And remain silent and listen and see what happens. What's the answer? Even though it feels like impossible today, you don't know what will happen tomorrow, after a week, within a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years. Everything you're meant to be and do here in this world, you carry it within. And use this time, if you have time, if you are out of work, or if you are if you have free space, use it to get in touch with yourself. Ask these questions, listen to the answers. And even though it feels like impossible, know that you will create it one step at a time. One step at a time. Sometimes it takes time. Move abroad, it teaches us patience. We need to learn to be patient. But know that you do carry within you all the necessary seeds of what you are gonna to create in your life. And if it feels too much, too big today, know that one step at a time, and you get closer and closer to it every single day. If Anne Lorient, who lived for more than a decade in the streets of Paris as a homeless, can create a center by seashore, helping other women. If she can create beautiful paintings, she's painting a lot these days. When I met her, she wanted to paint, and she did like from time to time. Now she does it much more on a much more regular basis. And guess what? She started to sell her paintings. People love her paintings, and she starts to create an income as a painter. So even though as a coach, year ago, it was like, oh, is she capable of this? And I am so grateful to see her thriving today because one day she was willing to get within her, to to ask right questions and to listen to her answers. And these answers were completely accurate and right for her, and you do have your answers. So if today it seems like impossible or too hard, or the storm is too strong, and you feel lost, you feel overwhelmed, it's like you are stuck and it doesn't go forward, don't stay alone. Please get in touch with me. I will be very happy to offer you 45 minutes clarity session where I will ask a lot of questions. I will listen to you, and together we will imagine, create concrete steps that you can undertake in order to start to create this life. And if it feels like completely foggy, okay, let us start with the fog. You don't know. You lack clarity. Let us see what's there. What's there when we are patient enough to accept this fog, to welcome it, to embrace it. Because if you welcome it, if you embrace it, it starts to dissipate. And then clarity comes to you. Remember, you were born to thrive. And I want to see you shining, empowered, and happy so you can inspire others. take this step, get in touch with me today. I'll be very happy to support you.